A lot of people move through life never discovering their authentic self. So their whole entire life, they just were pretending to be someone else, or pretending to be someone that their parents wanted them to be, or the person that society pressured them to be, or who they thought they should be, instead of who they actually wanted to be and who they actually really are from the core. In the past, when I was 14 years old or something, I remember feeling lost. I remember feeling like, who am I? What is this? It felt like as if I had literally nothing inside of me. As if like I molded myself to be the perfect daughter for my parents. I was a codependent, which means that I was also a people pleaser. And this persona and the person that my parents wanted me to be, all these beliefs and the values and the rules that came with it, who I should be, how I should think, what I should believe. I feel like a part of me was just tired, sick and tired of me pretending to be this person, playing this character. From the moment that we are born, we are told who we should be, what we should believe, how we should think, how we should act, what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable and what is unacceptable, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, how you should express yourself and how you shouldn't. All these rules, beliefs, values that come from growing up in a culture or even a religion, and what kind of choices that we should make. We are pressured to believe a lot of things that goes against our values, but we were pressured to see it as truth in our society. We grew up believing that we should be living in a certain way, to choose a certain path in life and in our career. Either that is pressured by the people around us or pressured by the society expectations that come with it. We grow up with a culture and beliefs and values that come with it, that shapes the way that we see other people or relationships, the way that we move through life, or the way that we see the world and what we believe in and how we think, as well as we grew up with a religion, and that ultimately kinda in a lot of ways influences the way that we see ourselves or the way that we feel about ourselves and the choices that we decide to make, the way in which we allow ourselves to express ourselves, as well as it shapes our view of the world and the way that we go through life. Religion is such a big aspect of our life that it influences and shapes a lot of our beliefs and values. And so we grew up with that, and the beliefs and the values that our parents ingrained within us, within our mind, that we should be doing this, that we should be this type of person, that we shouldn't do X, Y, and Z, that we cannot allow ourselves to express ourselves in a certain way based on their limiting beliefs and how they were raised, passed down from generations to generations. Now, everything that I just talked about, it can be a good thing or a bad thing, or mixed of both things, which is in most of our cases, depending on the way that you grew up, based on, I don't know, the type of parents that you had, or in the culture or in the religion that you grew up in, that you grew up having, and how you were raised by your parents, and what kind of beliefs that they have ingrained within you. But for many people, including myself, it was a negative experience. In terms of the fact that during my childhood, I went through abuse. There are a lot that I've been through during my childhood that I will not talk about in this video. However, it negatively influenced me, the way in which I wasn't allowed to express myself, the way in which that I couldn't be who I wanted to be, as in my authentic self. I was made to feel like I shouldn't be myself. So we go through life, move through life, seeing life and the world through the lens and the glasses of the ways in which our parents see the world. All these expectations and messages, all of the ways in which we got influenced, it's almost in a way as if one day you wake up and you ask yourself, who am I? All of a sudden, you barely even recognize yourself. You don't even recognize the life that you are living because it's not even a reflection of you. It's the choices that you made was a reflection of what your parents wanted you to be and how they wanted you to think. But this is not you. So why is it the fact that authenticity takes courage and being fake is easy? When you are being your authentic self, you are going to be disliked, judged, looked at weirdly, laughed at, looked down upon, talked behind your back, and also being hated just for being yourself. That's what you're opening yourself up to. Because being fake and molding yourself to what everyone wants you to be is easy, and it will not ruffle anyone else's feather. And agreeing with what everyone else says, thinks, you are not disappointing anyone. You're not triggering everyone. You're just going along with what everyone thinks and says and believes and who they want you to be. But then when you go against that, agreeing with everyone, it will make everyone like you, but in a superficial way, because they're liking the fake version of you, but they're not really liking you for you. The reason why authenticity takes courage and being fake is easy, because when you are fake, you are protecting yourself from being disliked, from being judged, from being looked at in a weird way, from being laughed at, from being looked down upon, and worst of all, from being hated. Because you're protecting yourself from offending, disappointing other people. You're protecting yourself from not losing someone by being your authentic self. You're protecting yourself from losing people's validation, acceptance. You're protecting yourself from not being hurt or losing your parents' approval and validation and acceptance. That, you know what, I know the fact that my parents are going to be disappointed if I get a tattoo or whatever. They might say some nasty stuff. I don't know. You're protecting yourself from that judgment, negative comments, which is the reason why authenticity takes courage. Hiding your true self and hiding who you are and what you think and what you actually believe, your values and how you want to live your life, and your desires to please other people, and for the sake of being accepted and liked and loved by people, that feels easier. Being fake feels easier. Being inauthentic feels easy. We don't have to face any discomfort. We don't have to let people know the fact that, oh my gosh, we actually disagree with them. So you may not get all these weird looks, or you may not get judged by that auntie or uncle that will honestly be so shocked that you disagree with them, or even your parents. Everything was nice and dandy until I started being my authentic self. Oh boy, that's when got real. I got talked about, I got laughed at. I was talked behind my back a lot of the times. I got called a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things that are actually not so good. Most of all, I got hated. I got hated for being myself, for saying what's on my mind, for speaking my truth. Because by you being fake, you're not even opening yourself up. You're not being vulnerable. You're not showing the real you. You're not saying what you actually want to say. You're not speaking your truth. You're not acting on your values. It's the fact that we are opening ourselves up to say what's really on our mind, to be who we are. And we are accepting the fact that we are gonna be judged, disliked, looked at weirdly, and most of all, we are accepting the fact that we might even get hated for that. or the fact that we are also accepting the fact that we also are willing to be rejected for being our authentic self. Just like you being authentic, being vulnerable, expressing and telling someone how you truly feel, confessing your feelings to them. That feels scary, but when you're authentic, you admit a lot of things to yourself. And with that comes confessing your feelings to someone and being okay with you being rejected. Imagine you feeling pressured by your parents to pick a certain career. Let's say you've been studying to become a doctor, but it is not something that you want deep down. Instead, you want to become an artist. So 3 years down the line, you're studying to become a doctor. After 3 years, in the middle of it, you start healing from people pleasing. And you realize the fact that you only picked this path because you wanted to please your parents. And then you have to tell your parents the fact that, oh, I want to become an artist instead of a doctor. And now you have to face and accept the fact that you're going to disappoint your parents. Or the fact that they may say certain things like,
oh, it's not gonna work. It's not a realistic job. You are disappointing us.
And so now you are in this place of discomfort. The thing about being your authentic self is the fact that are you willing to accept the fact that some people are going to be disappointed in you by being your authentic self? Are you okay with losing people's validation and acceptance? Are you okay with being disliked? Are you okay with speaking your truth and not getting a good reaction? Are you okay with, I don't know, being judged for being your true self? Because that's the exact reason why authenticity takes courage. You're going to have to accept everything that comes with being your authentic self. That's the price that you pay for being your authentic self. Because when you're fake, you don't see who benefited you from being the fake version of yourself. You may, and you might, and you are going to lose people just by being your true self. The people that never liked you for you. The people that liked the fake version of yourself. That really hit hard for me in the past. Because boy, I was willing to betray myself and not speak my truth and suppress myself and who I really am and hide who I really am just to be accepted, liked by people. When I started to love myself, when I started to understand what self-love really is and self-respect and being your authentic self, I truly realized that I wasn't going to betray myself. Because when you love yourself, you don't betray yourself. And that is the reason why authenticity takes courage and being fake is easy. The reason why it takes courage to being your authentic self and why being fake is easy, you're going to trigger people left, right, and center. You are going to trigger people and their insecurities and aspects of themselves that they don't want to face. It gives people the opportunity that do not agree with your point of view or your beliefs or the way that you choose to go about your life. It gives those people the opportunity to disagree with you. It also gives people to project a ton of their insecurities onto you. Those people are not willing to face that aspect of themselves or their insecurities or their limiting beliefs or the excuses they are making. They're gonna judge you. They're gonna hate on you. They're gonna project all kinds of insecurities onto you. That is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. But, it's easier to project than to face themselves. This is exactly what happens when you are your authentic self. Exactly what happened to me. It made a lot of people project their insecurities onto me and trying to make me feel like I was the problem. And trying to bring me down because I was triggering an insecurity within them. And because they're not willing to face that, they decided to project onto me, A lot of people are not willing to self-reflect on their mistakes and how they feel and their triggers and their shadow self. A lot of people are not like you. It's like you're holding a mirror in front of other people. All the ways that they didn't allow themselves to express themselves, or all the ways in which they're holding themselves back, you're going to trigger people in the sense that my whole life I believed all these kinds of things. You don't get to live this way. You don't get to just choose your own beliefs or based off of the values that you want to live by. It's like certain people are going to be so triggered by you choosing to be your authentic self. Which leads me to my next point, why being your authentic self takes courage and why being fake is easy, is the fact that I embrace being misunderstood. You see, as I've mentioned before, as I've been telling you already, after I started to be my authentic self, I got told a lot of things, a lot of negative things, because they were already trying to misunderstand me. They didn't get to the conversation by trying to understand me. They just decided that you are this person, you think this way, even if it's not true. It's like you can never change certain people's minds if they already decided to misunderstand you. In the past, I was feeling down about how someone was spreading misinformation about me. Someone was trying to paint me as the villain even though they were the villain. I was feeling bad about all of those things. It wasn't until one day I was practicing Tai Chi, or maybe I was practicing meditation or something, or being out in nature, and I felt this peace in my heart, and acceptance and empowerment that, this is who I am. I know who I am. And you know what? I'm really okay with whatever the hell you say about me. I'm okay with being misunderstood. In fact, I embrace being misunderstood. I'm okay with you trying to paint me as the villain. I really don't give an F. You want to paint me as the villain? Go ahead. Be my guest, sweetheart. You want to spread false rumors about me? Go ahead. Be my guest. That was such an important lesson that I've learned about the price I pay for being my authentic self. It's the fact that you're going to be misunderstood. But if you want to be your most authentic version of yourself, are you willing to pay this price of being misunderstood? So even if something that someone said, I don't know, even if that may hurt me, not only am I willing to embrace being misunderstood, but I'm willing to live with the pain that comes from being my true self, rather than the pain that comes from suppressing who I am. I'm not gonna betray myself. I'm not gonna suppress who I am. Because that's what I did my whole entire life up until a certain point. And that hit me so hard. This was a very valuable lesson as well. This is something that I've learned from Dr. Gabor Mate, which is the fact that you are going to have pain one way or another. You have to choose which pain you would like. The pain of suppressing yourself for the sake of being accepted, or you can have the pain of being your true self and not being accepted. And that is the reason why authenticity takes courage and being fake is easy. Being fake is easy, but being your authentic self takes courage because people don't want to hear the truth. People don't want to accept the truth about themselves and about a lot of people, or about the way that they've been living their life, because they don't want their illusions to be shattered. This is a quote from Nietzsche. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. This is a quote from him where he talked about people don't want to accept the truth because they don't want their illusions to be shattered. Because that's literally what happens when you accept the truth. It's the fact that your illusions shatter. What you thought was the truth shatters. And you realize the truth. I am actually afraid of losing my parents' validation and acceptance to the point that I'm willing to betray myself just to have their acceptance and validation. That really hits you hard. And you realize, holy F, will my parents accept me and love me if I'm my true self? There you go. That's the illusion that just got shattered. Because you thought your parents accepted you for being your true self. Until you want to get that tattoo, until you want to start dressing yourself in a certain way, until you, stop being part of a certain religion and start being part of another religion or no religion in general, until you choose a career path that's in alignment with you and not what your parents want from you. That's when you see whether they're gonna accept the real you. That is something that people don't want to face. That realization after you admitting the truth to yourself. You know how much it is costing you by you not being your true self, your happiness, your self-expression, your relationship with yourself, you lying to yourself, you betraying yourself, you being miserable and being at a job that you don't like, but you're just doing that to please other people. Or even your freedom. It's costing you your freedom, the life that you want to live. It's costing you everything. The fact that you are suppressing your true self for the sake of being accepted, liked, loved by people. But you see, people don't want to admit that to themselves. Because in order for you to be your most authentic version of yourself, you have to unlearn, let go, and release beliefs that doesn't resonate with who you are. In order to be my authentic self, I needed to question a lot of things, which is the reason why I am who I am today, because of that. And I left no stone unturned, questioning a lot of the things that led you to be fake. It's not gonna be easy because it's gonna make you realize a lot of things. People are not willing to let go of everything that was part of them being the fake version of themselves. But this is part of you learning how to be your authentic version of yourself. It's the fact that you need to release you being a people pleaser, you being a codependent. You need to release all the beliefs that came with it. All the beliefs that your parents ingrained within you that are no longer serving you, that doesn't align with you, or all the ways in which you are brainwashed based on expectations from other people and society. That is the reason why being your authentic self takes courage and being fake is easy. So that's it, guys, with the video. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what was your takeaway from this video. I would really love to know your thoughts and opinions about this topic. And yeah, I will see you on my next video. Bye.